Hey friends, welcome back to Law Creations. Sorry about the camera moving. I'm going to try to do a quick little show and tell here. Just showing you how I achieve a certain look that I'm going for with this particular diorama. So I already completed this step on these stairs I made out of foam board, and to give it some security, and it wasn't the pink foam I used the white foam that kind of just makes a mess when you cut it. But I had some of it hanging around, so I gave it a nice concrete texture. Not really sure if you guys can really see that, but I didn't really do a dry brush quite yet. I just added the texture and I gave it a quick sanding. So I'm going to show you how I go about that and what I'm going to do on this particular piece here. And so what I use is this concrete and mortar repair. And you can pick this up at Home Depot. You can pick it up on Amazon. You can pick it up pretty much any hardware store, I guess. And it's made by DAP. And it comes in a pretty nice consistency of mortar already. So, and sorry guys, I got my cat over here eating. He has a fetish of eating plastic bags. So, I'm sorry, got sidetracked. So I'm going to add some of this here. So I just use a small spatula to. I'll just mix up a small batch. I'll show you exactly. I could apply it like this, but I like to water it down a little because for the scale, I think applying it as is, it could become a little bit out of scale. So then I take some very little bit of Mod Podge and just add a little bit to where you think it's enough. Just a little bit like that. I'll come in, add some of this Anita's acrylic paint. Just enough to give it a little bit of color. And what a wonderful stringy mess that is. Anyway, probably an old bottle. And then I'm going to start with a little bit of water. And then we're going to mix it all in. And we just mix it until we get a good consistency, a good color. And let me pause it here, let me mix it, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, it's been a few minutes and I've just been mixing it. You just want it to get it to like this kind of a consistency. You can go as far as even adding a little bit of sand, but because of the concrete mixture, you already have a really nice gradient and texture, and you'll see it once it's applied in a thinner coat. But the paint gives it a little bit of color, obviously. So let me see if I can kind of just twist this down a little. And this is just going to be a war-torn diorama, and I'm going to do an interior as well. But for all of this wood here and inside here, I want it to be a concrete texture. All this here, I filled in my seams with some epoxy, and I want all that to be a concrete texture as well. Same with here. And we're going to leave the brickwork alone. So I'll go over a little bit of the pieces that I want to accomplish on camera. So it just applies like, almost like frosting. And it applies in a very nice consistency, especially with the paint. The paint is what really gives it that nice consistency. You can use anything to apply this particular, but I think you can you see the nice gradient it gives? And when it dries, it'll look like, you know, concrete, brown concrete. And that's what I'm going for. And I like to use different materials to try to capture, you know, realistic textures. So I've been using this for quite some time now, and it applies really nice. And I'm just going to go in a thin coat And I'm not really too concerned if there's a little bit of foam showing, because that'll add just to the texture of the piece. But you can really see how nice and even it spreads. It's like applying frosting. Gives you an idea. And that's just achieved with a little bit of water, some paint, very little of that concrete mixture, and Mod Podge, and off you go. And I'll give you, when it dries, I'll come back tomorrow and give you an example of, you know, how it looks when it dries. And it doesn't take very long to dry. I'll leave it overnight. So I'll just come here at the bottom and I'll just do as such to give it a nice smooth. And you can even add a little bit of water if it's not smoothing out the way you want. But that's what I do. You can use that on, you know, cement, anything that you want to portray cement. You can leave it just gray as is. You can color it any color you want. But I really advise that when you do this mixture that you add the paint, because the paint is what allows it to spread nicely. So that gives you the idea. And I don't want it completely spotless in regards to the bumps and the textures. You get that in variety in real life. So I kind of just leave it a little uneven. And when this hardens, you should be able to go in and maybe even add some cracks. I haven't really tried that yet, but I don't see why you couldn't. But yeah, that's the idea, guys. And just to give you a little look into my process of what I like to do. Is it a little bit of extra work? Yeah. Can you use other materials? Absolutely. You can use plaster of Paris. You can use, I'm guessing, any kind of pre-made already, pre-bought texture paste. But going like this and that tube of, I've had that tube of cement for quite some time, and you get quite a bit out of it. And you just add a little bit of water, Mod Podge, and whatever paint to your liking, and you just achieve the texture you want and the thickness you want. I don't go too thick because I kind of want it just to be in scale in regards to this particular piece. But this is going to be like a Middle Eastern piece. That's why I'm going with the brown. So that gives you the idea. I'm going to make this a little bit smoother. I'm not going to do all of this on camera. I just wanted to show you what can be achieved with a couple little additions to the mortar. Alright guys, that's just a little look into my process, what I enjoy using, and that's the texture that you achieve. Let me see, there we go. And I'll show you tomorrow when it dries. We'll go in and sand it down a little bit, and it should sand pretty nicely. So I'm going to go and do all of it here. I'm going to do the doorway, and then tomorrow I'll do a video and show you how it looks, how it came out, and we'll take a peek at it. Okay? I hope this was somewhat helpful. So like I say at the beginning of the video, it's just, let me cover this so it will dry out. It's just this particular stuff. I think it's $16 a tubby. And like I say, you get on Amazon, you get on Home Depot. You get a little bit of water. I use distilled water. I use just regular cheap craft paint and regular cheap Mod Podge. And there's really no specific ratio. You go until you get a good frosting type of mixture. And then you can apply it to really anything you wanted. Like I did the stairs here. Let's do the back of the stairs. cover up some of those seam lines. Not that the back of the stairs is going to be seen, but just to give you an idea. I mean, it really spreads very nicely. And you can use this for any textured groundwork. It doesn't just have to be cement. You can just paint it any color you want and let your imagination run wild. So yeah, this is just through years of just practicing different techniques, coming up with different materials that I like to use. I never really saw it done on a video. I didn't search it. People may use it, but I had some of this and I just wanted to give it a shot. So yeah, that's what it looks like. It'll give you a nice ultra realistic look of stone, concrete, just a nice texture. All right, guys, I'll see you guys tomorrow, and we'll pick up where I leave off in regards to it drying. Okay, take care, folks.